Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Oulton Park circuit in the UK. Oulton Park is a motorsport racetrack located in the picturesque countryside of Cheshire in England. Established in the 1950s, Oulton Park has played host to numerous high-profile motorsport events over the years, including rounds of the British Touring Car Championship and the British Superbike Championship. The circuit features a challenging layout with a max of fast and slow corners, elevation changes and technical sections that provide a thrilling driving experience for competitors. In addition to its rich motorsport heritage, Oulton Park also offers track days, driving experiences and corporate events. With its well-maintained facilities and stunning surroundings, Oulton Park is a must-visit destination for motorsport fans and driving enthusiasts. And today it welcomes the LSRL GT3 with myself, James Parfitt, and Michael David into here today. And what an absolute incredible race we have got lined up for you. I cannot wait for this one. It's going to be absolutely incredible. Last time out, we had Chicago Street Circuit. And, well, I think it's time to bring Michael in to explain how it went. Michael, welcome in first off. Hope you're well.
No, I'm doing great, James. I hope you're well as well.
Chicago.
Yeah. It wasn't my favorite track. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to get into any angriness tonight. I'm really excited about Oulton Park, but yeah, Chicago was just a disaster for me.
Yeah, it was not a good track, to be honest with you, and I think it's been it's a consensus within the community that will be probably the last time we ever visit Chicago Street Circuit. Nathan Graham did take the win with Elliot Borg in second and Jay Smart. Now we can show you the standings currently as they are at this moment in time. Joseph Kearns leading the way on 39 points. Steve Baker in second on 38. Nathan Graham in third on 35. Elliot Borg in fourth on 32. Peter Muller in fifth on 30 with Ryan O'Connor in sixth. Tied in sixth place with Jay Smart on 29 points. James Rep in eighth on 28. Dylan Gonaz 26. Daniel Pereira on 19. Mason Sagar 16 with John Silver. Jonathan Diggerman from JJ Racing on 15. The only man to go around Chicago without one scrap of damage on his Mercedes. Every other car had damage, but his didn't. Ben Barnes on 11. Sean Atkins 9. Nathan Heffley on 8 in 16th. Jared Lindsay on 6. And Brandon Birmingham there on 6 points as well. Brandon Thornhill on 5. Thomas Boniatti on 3. And Joey Fernandez on 2. Now in the team standings, Smar Gonaz Borg Racing on 75, LMA Motorsport on 70, JBJ Racing on 61, Slowly Driving By You on 41, Part-Time Pros, which does consist now of Nathan Graham and Alexander Amidon. They are on 35. Obviously, it's just Nathan that has scored points this season. This is Alexander's first one here tonight. Black Gold Racing on 19 and JJ Racing on 17 points. What are we looking forward to here from Oulton Park? Because, you know, I love Oulton. There's a run down into the Cascades, down, as we see Alex Abidon stick it in the wall. You know, it's just an iconic circuit. It's got everything, hasn't it? As the intro said, it's got up and down and left and right, slow corners, fast corners. We've got both chicanes of Britons and Hislops. It's just got it all tonight.
Yeah, that intro is actually incredible there, James. I gotta give it to you.
Thanks, man.
It's literally how I would describe this track, because all the undulations, all the blind turns, the off-camber, like, on part of the track, and the other side of the track is, like, flat. It's just such a unique track. It's one of my favorite. It's challenging. We've been watching practice for a little while. We're going to see some cars tonight kind of get off there a little bit and get onto that grass. As soon as you touch the grass, it's like ice out there. So it's going to be a challenge all night long for these drivers to stay off of there. But the track itself is just so fun to drive. I was telling you earlier, I actually got my pedals out and took a couple laps here on the Porsche. The Porsche, and I just absolutely love this track, love this layout. The two chicanes really gives you a little bit of a challenge there. It's just going to be an exciting night. I'm really excited to see the new team here.
Yeah, the team of Nathan Graham and Alexander Amadon. You can see Nathan, Alexander on your screen, and then Nathan. It's going to be interesting for us. They are, oddly enough, considering they're in the same team, it's probably going to sound incredibly ridiculous about now, but obviously the liveries are not very far apart. There isn't any difference in cars either. They're both in the Audi, so for us up here in the booth, this could be a very interesting evening. Not trying to call this one, because there's a lot of people who have all of a sudden, Sean Atkins, Thomas Boniatti and Mason Sager have all jumped into the same livery in the Ferrari. Obviously Ryan O'Connor and Peter Muller from LMA have got the same livery on as well, so you know, bear with us. We do our best. But when somebody's in the same livery as their teammate, it's not always easy, because they haven't got names on the front either, which is a little bit inconvenient. As we see Ryan O'Connor there taking a dive off the last corner, of course, which is down in Lodge. So I'm expecting a lot of that to happen tonight. We are going into qualifying very, very shortly. 10 minutes of open qualifying, then we go into a 45-minute race. Fuel load will be 50%. Open setups, no fast repairs. So they've got to be a little bit careful. And they do have to pit. They're not going to make it to the end. They do have to pit. And that itself, on its own, Michael, throws a massive spice up to this series, because that pit stop really does open it up to anybody after that, doesn't it? It just throws it in there, tells them all they've got to pit, and then the next thing you know, it all just kicks off, because everybody swaps around and it just goes mental.
Yeah, this isn't going to be a super long race, but having that mandatory pit stop in there is so key. It's going to really, you know, change everybody's perspective on how they're going to run this race. You're going to see people go in early. You're going to see people going late, obviously. You know, a couple differences there. But it throws that extra aspect into this this sprint race. You know, you have to make a decision. You have to make a choice. And you have to, you know, decide pretty quickly as far as the race goes. So, yeah, we've seen it affect the racers already, but I mean, I'm kind of expecting a solid night from Nathan Graham tonight, actually. I think the Audi is going to be extremely well adapted to these hills and these chicanes. I think we're going to see some Audis up front really taking advantage of the nimbleness.
No, right. When I purchased the Audi, and I thought it would be the car that I would actually get on with the most, because when I drive a GT3, I am quite heavy-footed. I'm quite throwing the car around. You know, it's got that low downforce. It's got that stability that you'd think it was going to have. But boy, oh boy, is it a tough car to drive. It doesn't like gripping on the rear end. If I was coming through Cascades here, I would be in danger of literally spinning round in a circle. And it has kind of killed me a couple of times at this circuit, I've got to be honest. It's about now. Normally the back end comes and decides it wants to join the front. As we can see with Elliot Borg, who's just taken a trip off onto the grass there. It's a difficult car to drive. It's not as easy as everybody thinks. I think it is tiny in conjunction with some of the bigger cars, but I actually ended up getting on more with the Mercedes than I did on the Audi. And out of the cars, I thought it would have been the Audi I would have been able to tame most, to be fair, but it wasn't. It was actually the Mercedes, as we can see there. One of the cars, that is Alexander Amadon, spinning round as well. It's very bizarre how some people's driving style match cars, isn't it? Because I didn't match the Audi, but I matched up to the Mercedes really well. It's just bizarre how that one works out.
It's funny that you say that, because I was trying to keep this hidden. I was trying to keep this a secret, but since we're going there, I actually busted out a Lamborghini as well as the normal Porsche. And I don't really drive the Lamborghini very much at all, actually. That's kind of why I picked it, because it's a car that I'm not really familiar with at all. And I just couldn't really come to terms with it very quickly. I was having a lot of issues with it here at Oulton Park, and you know, kind of wish if I was going to try it out, I would have tried it out on a track that I was a little bit more comfortable with the blind turns, I guess. I'm not sure. It wasn't really suiting me, so yeah, I was trying to keep that one a secret, I guess.
It's really weird though, because you come from the Porsche, don't you? You drive the Porsche quite a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm most comfortable with.
Yeah, whereas obviously before coming up through the ranks of iRacing, you jump in a Ferrari because it was the first GT3 you come across, and then you think about buying some of the others after. And I went from the Ferrari, then I bought the Porsche, and then I got the Audi, and then I bought the Mercedes, and it's kind of the Mercedes that suits me more than anything else. Which, for a heavy-footed driver, and I will be honest, I am quite heavy-footed. In that Mercedes, I was kind of half expecting to spend most of the time with the back end coming round, but it just kind of seems to hold if you give it that moment to grip. I think it's when you've come off like this corner here where Nathan Graham is. He has sort of 3 purples at the moment, and then you kind of almost stamp the pedal, the back end's going to come round. I think with the Mercedes you do have to kind of treat it a little bit nicely to get the actual maximum out of it, and I really like the Mercedes at the moment. And you know, I jumped in the BMW for the first time in ages as well, because I used to get on with that car, and since that new BOP update well, for me it was just horrendous. I couldn't get it to do anything, let alone turn the corner. But these guys seem to be handling this quite well. We haven't got any BMWs here tonight. We do have an Audi, the Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and the Mercedes and the Porsches. So it's going to be interesting to see. We do have Nathan Graham on pole on a 1:31.575. Jay Smart is just going across the line beside him there, as you can see. And then we've got here, sorry, no, that wasn't Jay Smart. That might have been Elliot Borg, actually. Smart has just pulled over to the side, wasn't it?
Well, Smart was up into second place, but Elliot Borg did just put in that second place lap there. Great lap there. Seeing more and more times are coming up, jumping up the board here. Nathan Graham and Elliot Borg both into the 131s. Nathan Graham comfortably into the 131s, but he's on another out lap. He's not satisfied with that. We got about 4.5 minutes left here, so plenty of time to put a couple more laps in. Yeah,
definitely. Alex Abaddon as well is out on track currently at the moment. Alex joining Nathan for the part-time pros racing team. Both of them are in the Audi, of course. So you see how they get on here. He's got no time on the board, and it looks like he's not going to have another one either. That will count probably as an off-track. I'd be very surprised if he got away with that. Being that earlier on I did a Red Bull race, and well, that was just off-tracks all over the place. But then again, the Red Bull Ring is famous for that. 1 minute you can sneeze at a curb and you get an off-track. Next minute you can take all 4 wheels off the track and you don't get an off track, which is the most confusing thing for me ever in the world. But here's a little bit more definitive. If you put the tyres on the grass, you are going to get an off track. So from Abaddon's point of view, he hasn't got a time on the board. Pereira there as well. He is down in currently near the bottom of the field. He hasn't got a time on the board as of yet. Dickerman in the Mercedes. It was interesting with Dickerman last week, wasn't it, Michael? Because we were running through the cars and literally Dickerman's Mercedes was the only one that didn't have damage on it. He was so careful in Chicago that he finished the race, got points, and his car didn't have a spec. Yeah, he may have been 2 seconds slower, but clearly he did the right thing compared to everybody else who was hurtling around the track.
Yeah, he just laid back chilling, man. He's just enjoying the Sunday drive out there. The only one that seemed to be able to maintain some sort of cool-headedness in that tight Chicago street figure 8, whatever you would call it. I don't even know. I guess it's not a figure 8, but it's just whatever. He was able to really manage that. Yeah, sure, he was going slower than a couple seconds slower per lap, but I mean, he was doing what he needed to do. He, was able to, sit through the race. It was a huge attrition. So that helped him out quite a bit. The best ability is availability. So being there at the end really helped him out.
Yeah, he started in 7th, started in 11th, and then he finished 7th. Best time was 2.5 or 3 seconds off the leaders. But his car was literally immaculate. Like, it didn't have a damage.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it? Every panel was still in order. Where other cars, it was almost like Days of Thunder. You wanted to go along and kick a door panel because that was the only one they hadn't damaged on the walls of Chicago. It was the most interesting thing ever, to be fair. It wasn't the greatest of circuits, and they have all said that we're never ever going back there again. So we won't have that on the calendar to look forward to, but Peter Muller is going to come across the line as well. He's got 3 greens on the board. He moves up into 4th place currently. No real improvements for anybody else. Ryan Connor hasn't set a time as of yet either. The schedule itself, guys, as well. We are here at Oulton Park. So this will be round 4 of the season. We started in Virginia, then we had Bathurst, then we had the off week for the Daytona 24, then we had Chicago and Oulton Park. We do have Daytona Roval next. Okayama, now the Roval is a night race, so that should be interesting. Okayama, then Phillip Island, then we've got a Spa night race, Watkins Glen with the bus stop, Road Atlanta, Indianapolis Roval, Twin Ring Matigi, then we've got an off week for Easter, and then we're back with Sebring for the night and the Nürburgring combined on the 23rd of April. So we've got a lot going on here in the LSRL GT3. Don't forget they did have the Formula 1 race at Bathurst. If you haven't gone and watched it, you should. Nothing like a good W12 hurtling into the skyline in 7th gear, and that's what they were doing, getting it down to 3rd by the next turn. It was absolutely incredible night of racing. Something I'd never seen, Michael, to be fair, W12 hurtling around Bathurst.
Yeah, I definitely saw that clip, and it was amazing. Liam Lawson really just crushing it through the mountain. That's kind of scary to think about, really. Like an F1 car through, like, I don't know if I'd have the guts to do that. So hats off. But I guess the F1 drivers are a completely different breed. That's just amazing. But I actually watched quite a bit of the Bathurst 12-hour. I thought it was a great race. Really interesting.
Well, they had the Red Bull car, didn't they, go up through the mountain? And the thing is, when you look at the mountain in real life, compared to when you look at it in game, going through that skyline dipper down to Forest Elbow doesn't look as scary in real life as it does in sim. In sim, it almost sort of scares you to the point of where it drops off straight away. You know, you go over the top, boom, you're going downwards. But it looks a little bit more gradient in real life. It doesn't look as sheer, I suppose, is the word I'm looking for, going down through the mountain than it does on iRacing. It's a really quite a bizarre concept when you look at it live on TV, real, if I make a little bit of sense at all.
I think I understand what you're saying, and I think to your point, I also think it's a little bit more challenging coming up the mountain in real life. I think you see more incidents, right before Skyline. I know this past weekend there was definitely a few, but like I feel like racing up to the top of the mountain, it's really tight through there, and then you get this wide opening. And then it just closes right back up as we come to the end of qualifying. But yeah, no, definitely beautiful there. We've got Nathan Graham taking pole here. Elliot Borg coming through in 2nd place. Jay Smart in 3rd. Peter Moeller in 4th place. Dylan Gones in 5th place. Alexander Amadon in 6th place. Joseph Carnes, our current championship leader, in 7th place. James Rupp in 8th place. Sean Atkins in 9th place. Daniel Pereira in 10th place. Mason Sager in 11th place. Tomas Boniati in 12th place. Ryan O'Connor in 13th. Ben Barnes in 14th. Brandon Thornhill in 15th. Nathan Heffley in 16th. Joseph Fernandez in 17th. And John Dickerman in 18th.
There we go. That was the grid there, read by Michael. We do have a slight quarter of a pace lap. You can see they are starting out by the water tower before we go around Druids and Lodge and then through Deer Leap, and then we are away. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are here for the first time, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a big old thumbs up, and turn on the bells for notification, because the racing is not stopping here this week at all. We are going into the Sunday with the LSRL GT3s, and then you have the delights of me tomorrow night driving an Audi touring car from Okayama. That'll be live around about 8 p.m. And then on Tuesday we've got the UK Sim Racers from Summit Point and the BSC from National Super Speedway at about 12:45 if you're in the UK time, so just 1:45 in the morning. Then we've got the Simability Iowa Speedway, and then the LSRL Round 5 kicking off on Wednesday. So that is up to Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we've got the Radical Race Series, the TSRC Watkins Glen, the Radical Sim Racing Americas Then we got on Friday the Radical Sim Racing Ironman Pros and the SRL new GR86 League kicks off for the media day. That should be amazing. And then we got the revival for the R Factor on the Saturday, and then the LSRL GT3 round 6 on the Sunday. So it's non-stop on the JBB YouTube channel. So don't miss any of the action. Give yourself a good old put the bells on, because you're not going to want to miss any of this. But here we go. Pace car is in. Nathan Graham is theoretically the pace car is bolted already. Graham has gone. He has left Elliot Borg behind, and Jay Smarts will come down into turn 1. He went pretty much straight away. Ryan O'Connor, Thomas Boniatti side by side as well, going around turn 1. Then we've got Ben Barnes, Brandon Forhill, Nathan Eppley, and Joseph Fernandez at the back. We have got John Dickerman already out into the pits. It'll be interesting to see what happens to him. But at the moment, it is Graham and Borg leading us round into Island Bend we go. Is this going to be where we're going to see the first off, Michael? Because that corner's tricky on that one.
I actually think we've already seen her first off, and we just kind of missed it there. Alexander Amadon, I think, already kind of had a little bit of an off there. He fell back quite a few places there from the start. Looked like he was losing speed there coming through. I think he had an off, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Also, I'm not exactly sure what happened with Dickerman there as well, but this is getting exciting up front here as Borg has come through on Graham.
Yeah, Borg is through in the lead on Nathan Graham. He got him down the hilltop straight into Hislops. And Graham, I'm sure, will look at coming back. But at the moment, he's got Jay Smart for company with Dylan Gonaz, Peter Muller behind him. I think there's going to be one of the interesting battles here. How is Graham going to cope now? He dominated qualifying. He dominated the practice series, and now he's at the back. Joseph Fernandez and Nathan Heffley are having their own little battle towards the back end of the field. Sean Atkins and James Rep from the slowly driving Bayou team are mixing it up in the middle, and your battle for 7th and 8th with Joseph Carnes, your championship leader, in 6th in front of them. But it is Alexander Abaddon trying to make the move currently. He's settling in with Mason Sago as they're coming side by side. Round turn 1 they go. Is Abaddon... Oh, they managed to hold it. Now they're going to drop down the hill into Cascades. Still side by side, these Ferrari and this Audi. Oh, Abaddon's off. Ouch.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That's definitely going to leave a mark at the back. Oh, we say one of the Bayou cars is turned around too.
Ben Barnes and Abaddon down into Cascades. Both of them coming out of there as well. And that was never good for them this early on.
Is Graham off too? What happened with Nathan Graham? Why did he fall back to 12th place? He's down 11 positions.
Yes, he went off track. Oh, let's have a look.
He's got some damage.
Oh no, going into
so
Island.
Easy to do.
Yep.
So easy. You just clip a little bit of that grass, especially in the Audi. You know, this early in the race, the tires might not be completely up to temperature. It's kind of like driving on ice. It's just so slick, and you can just, you know, just lose it. There's no place to really get any grip back. You know, once you're gone.
Yeah, going into that corner is just horrendous over the first few laps. You need to give yourself a little bit of time, as Graham clearly did not giving himself time into Island, that has now dropped down the order, but that has left Elliot Borg out in front with the Smart Gonaz Borg racing team with Jay Smart behind him and Dylan Gonaz. So it's a 1-2-3 for them. Into the mix we go with the worst pace scenario cars with Mason Sagar and Sean Atkins. They're battling away for 7th place at the moment as well. Nathan Graham is into the pits. Now, whether or not that's a choice, or whether or not he's had damage off that, well, he wouldn't have had damage off that run, surely, would he?
I think he has quite a bit of front right end damage, actually. I think I saw that just a few moments ago.
Both of them. Look at that, Alexander Amadon and Nathan Graham in the pits together. Both of them from the part-time pros team. Not good for them, but Daniel Pereira mixing it up in the middle of the field with Thomas Boniatti not far behind him as he's trying to chase down Mason Sagar currently at the moment. So let's see how he gets on here and see if it works out for Daniel Pereira. But Daniel there from Black Gold Racing sitting in 9th place. Bit of a rocky start, isn't it, really? I wasn't expecting both part-time pros to be in the pits this early on, but they are both there. The problem for Amadon, if he was turning left at the moment of that contact, that right front would have been sticking out. which means that would have took the brunt of the damage off that tyre wall, which then would have left him with steering damage, wouldn't he, on that one? It's a fairly given if you're going to go into the wall turning left and you're going to hit it on the right side.
I mean, yeah, generally that's the case, but who knows? Maybe there was a little bit of netcode in there and was able to survive a little bit. I mean, who really knows what kind of damage he's going to have? But you would definitely think that that would be the case there. But yeah, I'm really surprised that we saw, like you said, both of those cars kind of lose it the way they did. It was almost kind of eerily similar there, and now we see it's kind of just lining itself up. We got 3 Lamborghinis out front on your podium. We got a Porsche, Peter Muller, and we got a Ferrari in the wall. That's Nathan Heffley.
Yeah, Heffley's in the wall. That's coming off turn. That's off the final turn, going down Deer Leap. Nathan Heffley on lap 3. I think we can have a quick look back and see what he's been up to. On the gas too early? Yep.
We got Grambo5 in the chat. Nicked the barricade on lap 1 and messed up my steering wheel up. 2 minute and 40 repair. I'm going to guess that Gambo is either Nathan Graham or Alex Amadon.
Yeah. Well, he hit the barricade, so I'm guessing that's Alexander Amadon there, because obviously it was Alex that hit the barrier. Nathan got away with it, but he's still in the pits as well.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Alex Amadon's going to have a little bit heavier damage too.
Nathan Graham, did you hit a barrier? Let's see you hit a barrier.
We saw him clip the grass, but I didn't see him hit a barrier. But yeah, no, there's a lot going on those first couple laps. Well, the first lap and a half was very clean, but after that, it just kind of things went sideways for quite a few drivers here. But it seems like it's settled down a little bit.
Yeah, no, hold on. He hit the barrier. He went off track here on lap 1. There we go. But then again, that shouldn't have caused a problem either. So, quite surprised that there was damage on that car, to be fair. But Daniel Pereira battering away with Thomas Boniatti currently at the moment. Daniel Pereira from Black Gold Racing, Thomas from Worst Pace Scenario, tries to run around the outside. I do love that corner, that sense of that off camber in that hairpin. It just, don't know, just makes me all squiffy thinking about it.
No, it's a beautiful track. It's a beautiful corner. I gotta agree with you. It's just a little bit of a challenge to really get your mind around some of these blind turns. I feel like this track, I love to drive it, but I get so confused at parts. You know what I mean? Like not confused, I guess is the wrong word, but my brain just it's just so easy to get those off tracks because you just kind of just like every like hill kind of looks the same and you get lulled into this like. I don't know. I love the track, but it's a challenge to me. This is a tough track for me.
Does it give you that full sense of security where it says you're going to master me and then it spits you out and puts you into a barrier the next time?
There's absolutely no way in this world that I have ever felt of any sense of security on this track.
Really?
Oh man, this track challenges me. I love the track. Don't get me wrong. It's just it's tough. I think it's one of the tracks that just kind of. Maybe it's just my driving style. It just has always been a challenge to me.
Oh, Dickerman! Stop! Oh!
Now see, now you done it, man. Now he's gonna have to get it. Now he's gonna have to get a car wash this week.
Yeah, but that'll be his first little bit of dust he's probably got on that car. To be fair, he's done splendid throughout the season as John Dickerman. So, for the fact that he's just got off, on one turn round Druids. I'm happy for that. He's got a little bit of damage, a little bit of dust on the car. He can go and dust it off on that Mercedes, but it still looks immaculate. I do like what they've done with that Mercedes. It does look very clean, doesn't it?
Yeah, the matte black with the I'm not sure, the turquoise. Would you call that
silver.
Turquoise? It's a chrome silver. Okay, maybe my that's weird. Mine looks matte black. That's strange.
No, that's what you're looking. It should be chrome with red bubbles in it with silver. And if you got any other colour than that, Michael, I suggest
maybe
give Trading
there's
Paints.
definitely something going on there.
Yeah, maybe give Trading Paints a bit of a kick, because clearly it's not picking them up. But the cars,
something strange seems to be going on there.
Yeah, cars have spread themselves out a little bit, guys. You can see the interval gaps on the left-hand side here as well, so that everybody is just trying to really get round and survive. Nathan Graham has come back out of the pits. He was back on to the track. He has had an off-track again. I'm not going to focus too much on that off-track, but I am going to have a look at what James Rep's up to in the slowly driving by you team. He's slowly chasing down Joseph Carnes from JBJ Racing, so stay tuned, and hopefully these guys will get battling soon as they're coming down to under a second. James there was not a lover of Chicago, was he? I think his race lasted about half a lap, if that, wasn't it, last time out, if I remember correctly, and then he terminated it into one of the walls that was around Chicago.
Yeah, no, that was an extremely frustrating night for quite a few drivers, and I mean, I don't really blame them. That track just, it didn't do anything for me.
No,
it was kind of just,
there was nothing there. Was there?
I'm really trying not to bash anything about it, but it's just like, it is such a bland layout. There's nothing to it. It's a like, basically you put two squares together, like at a catty corner almost. You kind of like, it's nothing. There's nothing to it. There's no elevation change. There's just walls, just asphalt and walls. Sure, I think it would be a great course if you were doing like Formula Drift, but it's still too short.
No, maybe the drift might have been better, but we discussed it, didn't we? And we said it was more of a go-kart track than an actual track. But I spoke to Ryan during the week, and Ryan said they had plenty, because obviously Ryan's from Chicago, so he said they had plenty more options of where to put that track. They could have done so much more with the circuit. You know, Ryan's going up there for the NASCAR weekend. He's got a VIP experience up in there, and I said to him, like, you know, what's the deal? I didn't think you liked it. He said, I don't. He said, but just for the experience of going, I'm going to do it once. He said, I'm never going to go again. He said, but just to see, you know, how the cars cope with it, just that one time. He said, I'm just going to go once, and I want to see how they get on. And that is what he's going to do. But even he said, we're never going back there, James. He was like, I'm sorry. He said, I'm sorry to put you and Michael through that. He said, but we're never going back there, ever. So I was like, okay, mate, fair enough. We're not going back to Chicago. I don't know if anybody in chat has seen the Chicago street circuit, the layout that they've made for the NASCAR. Now, it's either going to be two ways, isn't it? We discussed this last week. It's either going to be the Monaco or the F1 series, where they just single line it all the way around, or it's going to be chaos with them hitting walls. I can't see any other way of getting around it. But we are here at a more exciting circuit of Oulton Park. We've had a lot of action over the first few laps, and now all the cars are spread out, running their race, and we've got to wait for pit stops, which should be within the next sort of 20 minutes, we hope, maybe even 15, where we see the cars start coming into the pits, and then we can get them all mixed up again, because at the moment they are a little bit more spread out across the track as we talk. So there we go. Not an ideal, but the racing is on, and we will fill up where necessary on that one. So Chicago was a different entity. We've got Oulton Park this week, which is, you know, as I say, both of us are fully enjoyable of this circuit. Then we go to Daytona Roval, night race, but that's got lights, right? The one I want to really is a Spa Oval at night that hasn't got lights. That's going to be testing on its own.
Yeah, that's extremely, like, that's crazy just thinking about that. Just the Spa, no lights at night. Oh, man, it's going to be a challenge.
Well, we did discuss in the Discord this week about doing a fun race. W12s, bar first, at night. And then I got asked, am I going to join in? And I instantly, oh, Tamas, hold it. Ah!
Running into that Ferrari is looking very angry.
Yeah. Tamas Boniatti coming around Nickelbrook there.
Nope, there goes the hood.
Yeah. What is the rest of it like? Let's have a look. Wow. Can he get it straight? can. He's got it straight, but that was not good from Boniatti. How's it going to react in the corner?
It actually doesn't
seem
too bad.
He may have got away with that one, didn't he?
That's incredible. That was a huge hit.
Yeah. He's got no hood. He's creating his own downforce and his own airflow into the engine, so we will never have overheating problems with Tamas throughout this race. But to be honest, he's well, we'll see what he does on the next lap. I think he was round about the 134.9s. If he can do the same sort of thing, he may have just got away with that one. I'm not going to lie. So,
I'd find it.
Ben Barnes. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. I would find it really hard to believe that he doesn't have any sort of, second or two off pace here. That was a hard hit. He's got to be losing something here. He's got to be losing some sort of... Oh, yeah, he's able... Yeah.
It looks tidy. We're watching down the back of the hilltop to see what his speed's like, but he's going to be fourth. Should be fourth. Yeah, he's got away with it.
Yeah, that's insane. It's kind of blowing my mind a little bit. He's lucky, man.
Yeah, he definitely is. He should hit fifth down here. You're not going to get sixth. It's not long enough, but he's reacting. He's turning when he needs to.
Yeah, he got away with it, man.
Steady though. Take this one again. Don't. There we go. Good lad. And he made it through. So Tamas Boniatti is going to complete the rest of the race without a hood on his car, but only because he got away with what looked like quite a heavy hit. But we've got Peter Muller trying to chase down Dylan Gonaz now. The time is currently at the bottom of your screen. And there is the lap times on the board. No, they're not. Where are they? There we go. Sector times for Gonaz and Muller. Muller is been a little bit quicker over sector 1 and 2. So let's see how this one pans out with these guys here as well. Sector 3, Gonaz winning that one. He actually has just basically nullified the gap that Muller got on him in the first two sectors, to be fair. Look, Thomas Boniatti into the pits as well, Michael. So Tamas there, hopefully he's just going in for fuel. I don't feel he needs to do any damage repairs, to be honest. I think it's all cosmetic.
Yeah, like we both said, it looked like he wasn't really having any steering issues. He was able to really, take advantage of that short straightaway there, get up into fifth gear. So nothing too concerned about there. So he definitely got away with one. You see him on pit exit here. So it looks like this is all just strategy, and we're going to see more and more people coming in. It is that time of the race. I think you're going to see some of these leaders stay out a little longer, but don't be surprised to start seeing the field really start dropping in now.
Yeah, I'm hoping they all start coming closer together. As I say, they are a little bit spread out at the moment, but let's only hope that these guys do come together after the pit stops, because that's what we're kind of expecting them to do, and hopefully this is what we will see here this evening with these guys on track. But let's hope for the best and see how we get on. But it is Muller and Gonaz battling away. Joseph Fernandez is in as well. He's into the pits as we've got 27 minutes remaining. But as you say, Michael, it's around about that time, isn't it, that we were expecting them to come in?
Yeah, everybody's going to have to come in for their mandatory pit stop. No time better than the present, I guess, unless you're Elliot Borg or, maybe Jay Smart. There's going to be a little bit of probably some strategy coming into play here. See if we'll get an overtake, an overtake with somebody's pit strategy here. But I think with that 3, almost 4 second gap here, it's kind of really up to Elliot Borg at this point. We see another Ferrari gone sideways there.
Oh, that's Nathan Heffley, I think. Is that Heffley again? Yeah, Nathan Heffley already a lap down. May look at calling it as it is. It's either that or he's going to carry on as Nathan. He obviously is a lap down at the moment. The others are on lap 12. He's still completing lap 11. That Ferrari does not look in good shape. I'm not going to lie here tonight. Fortunately for him. We're going to have a look back and see what happened to Heffley now. So, did it play? Come on. There we go.
He's trying to get out of the way and then got in somebody else's way.
He got in the grass.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just unfortunate. There was some faster cars coming through. He was trying to, kind of get out of the way, clip the grass, and it's so easy to do here on this track. You just get off track just a tiny bit, and there's absolutely no, there's no level of you're committed. There's nothing that's going to save you. Once you touch the grass, you're completely committed here. There's too much elevation change. There's too many undulations on this track surface. You're just really, shooting yourself in the foot. You have to pay attention at all times, and you really have to kind of baby it at times to, save yourself.
Yeah, because that's the thing, isn't it? They've got to try and survive this, haven't they? Really.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny because that's pretty much the name of the game as last week as well. It's just this is a better track.
Which seems bizarre, considering we've got Nathan Graham a lap down, Alex Abbott on a lap down, we've got Joseph Fernandez a lap down, Brandon Thornhill. Not quite sure what happened to Brandon, but whatever happened, he has now been off. I'm just looking through to see if there's anything there. With Brandon Thornhill. Yeah, he did go off track, but I'm not entirely sure he's done actually any damage to his car. But JJ Fernandez is in the pits. Heffley's still going. What sort of state is his car in? Again, really looking okay. He's got his steering wheel going in the right way, Michael, I guess.
We did see Heffley have a little bit of an off earlier. The front end of that Ferrari is a little messed up, but not too bad. It looks like he's still coming around fine. It's really just going to become a war of attrition here from now on. Who's able to really just keep it on track? It's just so easy to make a foot off here or there and just ruin your race at this point.
Yeah, we've got both part-time pros out as well, and Brandon Thornhill. Both of them, all three of them are currently out. Now I'm just going to see if I can find where Brandon went off. Looks like he's only been off track once, but let's have a look here. Oh, okay. That's possibly going to do it. How much has he got left?
That's a rough hit there.
Okay. Yeah, he didn't get away with that.
Yeah, and that was early. That was lap 1, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah. Just coming here to Sean Atkins. Atkins is having quietly having quite a nice race. Very consistent. Kind of reminded me of Dickerman last week. Keeping his head down, staying out of trouble here. These two teammates just kind of following one another, running their own race here, not trying to overdrive the car, and trying to get themselves up into a solid top 10 finish here.
Yeah, I think this would be good for worst case scenario. To be fair, they got Mason Sager, Sean Atkins in the top 10. Thomas Boniat is down in 13th. He's down 1. Dickman's up 6 again. The biggest gainer already is Joseph Dickerman. He's up 6 places. I think if you...
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think if there was ever a consistent individual that you could sit back and put money on and say he's going to finish the race, I would put my house on Dickerman, because he has just been consistent. He made it through the tough week of Chicago. He's making it through again at Oulton Park. Looks like the Mercedes is struggling a bit. Fernandez is in the pits 2 laps down, of course. But again, he's still on the lead lap and he's still going. So fair play to John Dickerman. I think it's a credit to what the league is talking, endearing with that persistence and that consistency. Muller is going to be consistently under pressure shortly from Joseph Carnes here if he's not careful. And I'm interested to see how this one pans out with the next 21 minutes, because Gonez is not too far up the road.
Yeah, no, Peter Muller is definitely going to be starting to come into his own. I think this track really suits the Porsche pretty well. It's been kind of quiet tonight. Peter Muller's just kind of been sitting there, 4th place, 3rd place, 5th place, just kind of having, just a nice easy ride. Yeah, he's got Carnes coming up on him, behind him, but I think right now, if you're Peter Muller, you're really just trying to, do more of the same. Let this race come to you. You got the car for this track, I believe. I really think this is going to be easier said than done, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Muller here up into the podium spots here shortly. I think he's going to have a nice opportunity here at Dylan Gonez and possibly fight for third place there.
Yeah, I think that will be hopefully the battle that will come together towards the end of the race. However, Carnes is closer to Muller than Muller is closest to Gonez. So from that perspective, I'm a little bit worried about how Muller will get on with Joseph Carnes behind him, because it looks like Carnes is a quicker 3 out of the 6 sectors. So it'd be interesting to see whether or not these guys come together here as well very, very shortly. And hopefully within the next 19 minutes we can get some nice little battling going on track, as we do see Peter Muller coming past a back marker. Of course, that is Tamas Boniatti, who's still got no bonnet on his car, and clearly not doing him any different. It's not affected him in any shape or form, and Tamas still driving around there, loving that, absolutely loving it. He's like, who needs a bonnet? Just create my own cooling system, Michael.
Yeah, I don't think Peter Muller is going to be sharing that same perspective, though. I think he was a little annoyed to get hauled up there through that tight sector, and kind of wanted to get a bigger gap here. But now that he's got Carnes, a car behind him, he's able to kind of make a little bit of a gap, and I do think that he's going to have an opportunity here at Dylan Gonez before Carnes is on him.
Where would you go with Boniatti? Blue flags. We know the blue flags. They're all handled by iRacing in this league, so there's no special requirements. I know some leagues do turn around and say, look, we've only got 45 minutes, please get out of the way at your earliest convenience. Tamas hasn't got that. He's got the control of iRacing, which means they are just advisory. So before everybody, you do go along, and there he goes. He does jump out of the way. Fair play, Tamas, because there isn't really many other places apart from that back straight to get out of the way. So he did the right thing. There's always, how can I put it? There's always a difference of opinion when it comes to blue flags in general. Mine is somewhat F1 based. Please remove yourself from the racing if you're involved in it. Others see it as, why should they? I just see it as, don't affect the people in front. You know what I mean? I think that's one of the things for me.
I mean, I don't disagree with your point of view. Coming from the F1 standpoint, it just, get out of the way. You're a back marker for a reason. Don't ruin somebody else's race. But at the same time, when it comes to endurance racing, I think this is the difference here, in my opinion. When it comes to endurance racing and GT racing, these longer races, maybe not necessarily an hour-long race, but maybe like a 4-hour or 6-hour, back markers become less. It becomes more strategy than anything else. You could be a lap or two down because your strategy was to double stint your tires the first 2 hours or something like that, and then everything. Oh, we see a Ferrari coming off there. That was a big hit. Not sure who that was. I don't think it was. Yeah.
Wasn't Ben Barnes. May have been this man, Mason Sager.
Oh, yeah. That's a lot of damage. Wow, but that Ferrari is still sticking.
Let's have a look.
The Ferrari's a tank. Oof, yep. Caught the grass. I did something very similar to that, but ended up nailing the inside barrier in practice.
Now, is it the fact that they're hitting this Ferrari front on? Because both incidents where we thought they would have rapid damage, Tamas Boniatti and now Mason Sager. Sager has gone into the pits. He does need to go into the pits anyway. We've got Joseph Carnes, James Rep, Gonez, Pereira, Sager, Connor, all in the pits anyway. Are we saying just for the fact that he's tapping that Ferrari nose on is the reason that it's surviving?
I mean,
Carnes and Muller. This
you
is
would
about
think
the
that
position. Yeah. Go on, sorry.
Oh no, that's a great fight there for Carnes, because Yeah, I didn't think I didn't think Carnes was gonna be there, but Peter Muller is kind of fighting back a little bit. Might have an opportunity on the exit here.
He's not going to get it on that short run up into Britain's. If anything, he's going to get it on the run down into Hislops. This track is just about wide enough. If anybody hasn't driven Oulton Park, go out and drive it in an AI race so it doesn't affect anything, because you'll find it is very tough. It's very tight. If Hans just puts his car where he's put it, poor old Muller's got to think twice about where he's going to go. And that's the problem.
Yes.
Now they've got James Rett behind him as well. These have all pitted. The only ones that haven't pitted are Nathan Heffley and Sean Atkins. Atkins is currently out in front. But it is tight here, isn't it, Michael? You know, there isn't that easily maneuverable space that you would have at other circuits.
Yeah, this track is so tight. It's kind of like a shim pool table. You know, you really have to be very precise. And it's hard to do. It's tough to do with all the elevation changes, and you get these blind turns, but it doesn't matter. You have to be perfect every single lap here, every corner, because it's just so simple to just have a slight little off track on that grass. We've seen it all night long throughout practice, throughout this race. You just get a slight off track on that grass, just the tiny, tiny, tiny rubber to grass. You lose the rear end. It's over. And I mean, these Ferraris seem to be lucky. They for whatever reason, the front end is that suspension is just built like a tank, I guess. I'm not sure, but it's a tough track, and it's definitely going to be tough for Peter Muller to get this position back.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to have to try and stay with him. He's losing time here as well. Is Muller. He's losing time over Carnes. So Carnes is quicker in literally 3 out of the 4 sectors they've been through already. He's pulled out literally 4 tenths on Peter Muller. Muller's more slipping into the hands of Rep at the moment behind him. So if he's not careful, he's going to have James Rep for company. How is Rep sector looking? He's been... Yeah, Muller's slower again of Rep of 3 out of 5. So it looks like they're slowly driving by you. No, okay. Enough said, James.
Definitely can get quite sketchy through here.
And at that moment I said he looked like he was going to pull up to him. James Rep ended up on the grass. So, hey, I'm not going to say anything else.
Dickerman's coming into the pits right now. I do believe that Dylan Gones has already pitted. So it's going to be interesting to see where he's able to slot back in once Borg, Smart, and Carnes and Muller all have to pit still. Yeah, so once they get their pits out of the way.
Yeah, Ben Barnes has just come out in front of James Rep. He's just moved over and allowed him to try and resume his battle with Muller and Carnes here. Carnes is definitely opening up that gap though, Michael. We're back above a second. And that's kind of what we wasn't expecting from Peter Muller, was it? We thought he might have been a little bit closer to it, but this track, as we can see from the top two, the Lambo and the Ferrari, is it that style of car that we think is producing the goods here tonight? Is that why we're seeing the Lambos and the Ferraris and maybe a Muller not get back so well through? Because if you look at the table, we've got, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Ferraris in the top 10.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely showing the strengths of the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis here. These cars are really just tearing up the track, and I honestly thought that the Porsche would be way more adept at this track, but we see Peter Muller here really having some issues trying to keep up with that Ferrari. But the Ferraris, you know, like you said, 5 of them in the top 10. We got 3 Lamborghinis in the race. All 3 of them are in the top 10, including one that's already pitted. So he's definitely going to be back up in the top 3, top 4 before this is said and done. So this is pretty much becoming that battle between the 2 big Italian rivals.
But what do we think the reasoning is then? Is there anything on the fact of where the engine placement is on the Porsche compared to the Ferrari? Are we looking at the Ferrari's got the more front-ended weight? Because that is obviously a front-ended
engine car. I would have to you know, agree with that. I'm pretty sure aren't the Ferraris mid-engine? Isn't the engine right there next to the driver?
Well, it's under the hood, which is pretty much at the
Oh, it's a front engine?
Sure, it's a front engine car. Isn't it literally in front of where the driver is?
No, I thought the Ferrari was a mid-engine. I'm going to have to look this up.
As we
1 moment, please.
scroll here, but I'm pretty sure I thought it was necessarily at the front. Maybe we are wrong. We reach through. But 10 minutes remaining. Dylan Gonaz battling away with Ryan O'Connor. There is a back marker in front of them. I think that is John Double O car, so that could be actually his partner there in Joseph Fernandez. It is Fernandez. Back on track. Fernandez is a long way down. He's literally about 10 laps back currently at the moment. But Ryan O'Connor and Dylan Gonaz battling away nicely here on track with 9:37 on the clock. And I think, to be honest, it could only get interesting as the time goes on, and it's going to get interesting with these guys. Gonaz, though, is speed, says Hush Brown. Welcome in, Hush. Hope you're well. James Rep jumped to the pits. Jumped to the pits, did James Rep. Let's have a look what he's been up to now.
James, the Ferrari is a rear engine or mid-engine, so the engine sits right behind the driver's seat.
Oh,
oof, that is going to be a lot of side swipe damage there. That is, oh yeah, that rear tire is not going. That car is done.
That could be why Rep is jumping to the pits on lap 22. Partly because, oh, Ryan O'Connor. Did you get away with that? No, he didn't. Look at the steering.
The Ferrari is a bit fragile at times.
He's in the Porsche, isn't he, O'Connor?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Porsche. Sorry. I don't know why I said the Ferrari, because I got a picture of the Ferrari right in front of me. I'm going to send this to you momentarily.
Oh, Ryan. Let's have a look and see how Ryan O'Connor just terminated that Porsche. Such a shame. Too much speed into Shell Oils. Too much speed. That car looks very much like it's in a very dangerous position at this moment in time. But Daniel Pereira is now up 4 into 6th place currently at this moment in time. So he's flying along nicely, up 4 places. He does have Mason Sagar for company though. So from Mason's point of view, he's got to try and look and close down on the car in front, which is Pereira. So there we go. Yeah, behind, okay, mid to rear engine really, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's definitely going to affect the weight distribution of that car. You're going to have a lot of weight in the back there, not so much in the front, and that's going to definitely kind of give you I think on these, like, the valleys and the dips through here, it kind of like the roller coaster effect, kind of the suspension kind of sits really nicely through a track like this in the Lamborghini and the Ferrari, and it really seems to connect the rear end. Whereas the Porsche, I think it was fun to drive around here, but it gets very light, so it's really easy to lose the rear end. We know the Audi, is tough to drive through here as well, just because it is so nimble, but it's very challenging to handle at times. And then you put in the fact that if you even look at the grass, you're going to completely lose your rear end. It's definitely a tough track. So, but yeah, I think that's really what it is the weight distribution, just kind of sitting in the back there on these Lamborghinis and Ferraris, and just giving these drivers that little more confidence, a little more able to accelerate and handle really more comfortably.
Yeah, we have got James Rep in YouTube chat. that turn I wrecked at, which was called Island, you can take it 10 times and never hit that bump. Then that one random time, you'll hit it. And that sums up Oulton Park, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's so many different undulations in every single part of the track. If you just kind of like look at it, I mean, I know we're in a simulation, but it's you can see it. The track like just like it's lumpy, and there's certain spots where you can come through, and just like he said, James Rep said, you know, you can come through the same corner 10 times, and then that one random time you find that random bump. It's just, it's frustrating, but that's just how it is, you know? You hit that bump, you hit the grass, that's, Oulton Park will just chew you up and spit you out.
It definitely did, and we've got Mason, that's Thomas Boniatti on the side of the road. He's going into the pits now. O'Connor's back in the pits, obviously Rep's still in there, Thomas Boniatti, Nathan Heffley. That releases John Dickerman up 7 into 11th place. So where John is just doing John things, isn't he? Going round, completing the track, and away we go. Looks like we have got Ben Barnes off again. Barnes looks like he
got another Ferrari in the wall.
Yeah, Ben Barnes. Let's have a look and see how
was
Ben
that Adkins? Oh, that was Ben Barnes?
Ben Barnes, yeah, he was the second slowly driving by you. So hopefully this should give us a better perspective coming out of Cascades. Oof. Ouch.
Oh! Ooh! Adkins did take the brunt of that.
Hold on a minute there.
I saw him jumping on the timing board.
On board with Atkins now. There's the car. Brake, 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 brake. Ah!
Yeah, that is definitely one for the stewards. There was absolutely no reason for that.
Could it now? Before we go there, now I'm an advocate when it comes to about sorting out stewards and stuff. But could Barnes have? Oh, Boniatti again!
What a save! Very nicely done. You don't want to put yourself in that position. But
no. Could Barnes have done anything?
Do we have his onboard? I mean, I guess I kind of jumped at the bit there. I do apologize. It looked like it looked like he wasn't holding his brakes. That's what kind of made me say that there. And whenever you see somebody in an incident like that not hold their brakes, it kind of
right. So here we go.
Head scratching.
Can he have done anything? He's trying to steer
away.
I
think he's got enough. He's slowed down enough without using his brakes there that if he was using his brakes, it would have. I personally think.
Okay. Well, we've got 2 minutes 25 remaining. Elliot Borg has gone round Cascades. He's going to have this one and one more will be the final lap of the race. Barnes and Atkins having a coming together. Let us know what you think in chat. And tell us what your opinion is of that incident there as well. It is just random bump on the side of the track. Can't see it, but it's there like a netcode bump. It's not always there. It's iRacing grass, mate. It's basically ice. He was on the brake. There we go.
No, he was on the brake. That's what he was saying there.
Yeah, he was on the brake.
So if he was on the brake, there was nothing he could have done. Then no, it wouldn't have been his fault.
No. But Elliot Borg is leading away, 1:45 on the clock. We are going to have finish this one, and then we're going to have the last lap of the race with 1:37. But it's definitely claimed some scalps as Oulton Park. Atkins, O'Connor, Barnes, Rep. Is Nathan Heffley still running? And if he is, props to Nathan Heffley. Down in 14th place. He's only 2 laps back. That Ferrari. Wow.
Oh, man. That thing looks like a Fast and Furious daydream, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not quite entirely sure what exactly is left on it. But there's nothing on that side. So, Nathan Heffley. Nothing on that side. What about the rear right? That looks clean. Now, that does remind me of a Top Gun moment where you just want to go and kick the rear quarter panel. Not Top Gun, the Days of Thunder, because that's where you want to kick the quarter panel and say, well, you've done everything else, mate. You know what I mean? You might as well just do that one.
I think if you try to kick the corner panel, you're going to be kicking straight through the car. There ain't much quarter panel left.
Exactly.
You can get your foot stuck in there.
Yep. But it's weird, isn't it? Right? I don't think we had this many outs in the W12 series at Barfest as we have had at an open racetrack, Oulton Park, here in a GT3. It doesn't work in my head. I would have expected more deaths in the W12 than I've seen here, but we only lost one car to the mountain section, and I think it was only 2 overall as out. You know, we've got half the field out currently. We've got 9 cars out.
Yeah, it's almost like we're back in Chicago. It was kind of reminiscent of last week. Just attrition. We got Nathan Hefferly, like you said, still trying to fight back a little bit, but pretty much everybody else, he's the technically in 14th place, but the 10th car currently running. And we got another 8 out, so that's just, yep. And we see Elliot Borg has gone ahead. He's taken the checkered flag here.
Elliot Borg is your winner here this evening by about 22 seconds over this man, Jay Smart.
You don't think he was looking over his shoulder too much, do you?
No, there was nothing to look over, was there? No, man. They'd all gone.
Joseph Carnes. It's going to be a great race for Joseph Carnes, getting a 3rd place here. Going to be solid points for his championship run here.
Yeah,
solid points for the team.
But that's what I mean. It was, again, it was keeping it on track, wasn't it? And, you know, there's nothing left of Mason Sagar's car either by the looks of it. He's got no bumper and nothing else on it, you know, from their point of view and their perspective. So Daniel Pereira does come across the line in 5th place, up 5 places. Mason Sagar in the Ferrari with not a lot left. Dylan Gonaz down 2, was a 1-2-3 for Smart Borg Racing. Smart Gonaz Borg Racing. And then Gonaz down in 7th place. Thomas Boniatti still without a front bonnet or a hood or whatever we call it.
My hat's off to Thomas Boniatti.
Yeah.
He's had a tough night tonight, and he has just kept his head down and just kept trucking at it. Coming in for an 8th place finish, well deserved. You know, obviously he's going to have a better finish there. But for everything that he's endured tonight, that you just got to be proud of the kid.
And then we go to John Dickerman. Not a scratch.
Hey man,
Up
top 10
places,
finish, just like last week.
Up 9 places. He's done a stellar job.
don't fix it if it ain't broken, I guess.
Exactly. Not a scratch on it.
Yeah. But we saw him with the off track, so he is going to have to take the car to the car wash this week. So at least that happened. So we're good there.
I think that's going to be a focus point now for the rest of the season, to see how Dickerman gets through the rest of the season, because I think the moment he has a crash in that Mercedes, it's going to be like, what? He's crashed. Hold on. He's never crashed. But, you know, there he is, just going around the final corner. Doing an absolute stellar job. Cruising around. Look at that Sunday drive for John Dickerman. And he's up into 9th place. There is your top 3 on the grid, getting their photo taken. Nathan Heffley still going. He's got to go one more and then he'll move up above James Rep, which he isn't going to get, and there is nothing left of that front end of that Ferrari. It's just in a complete and utter state currently at the moment. But there are the final results on your screen for you, Michael. Why don't you take them away?
Yeah, we got Elliot Borg having a quiet, steady race here. Jay Smart in 2nd place. A little bit of the same. Joseph Carnes making the move on Peter Moeller there up into 3rd place. Peter Moeller obviously in 4th place. Daniel Pereira up multiple positions in the 5th place. Mason Sagar in 6th place. Dylan Gonaz dropping out of the top 3 to fall back to 7th place. Tomas Boniatti having a tough day, but solid points finish up in 8th place. John Dickerman also having a very solid run up 7 places to 9th. Sean Atkins in 10th place. Ben Barnes in 11th. Ryan O'Connor in 12th. James Repp in 13th, Nathan Heffley in 14th, Joseph Fernandez in 15th, Nathan Graham in 16th, Alexander Amadon in 17th, and Brandon Thornhill rounding out the top 18 there. And it was definitely a war of attrition there tonight, James.
Absolutely, it was as well. And what we can do is get the man who finished in first place into the booth, and let's have a chat with Elliot Borg. Elliot, good evening to you, sir. How are you?
I'm feeling comfy.
Well, I would be feeling comfy as well if I had a 31 second gap. You know what I mean? That's just a
That was I don't know what happened to Nathan. I was really looking forward to battling him. So, because he schools me in the F1 league, and I was ready to bring it to him tonight, and I don't know what happened. Those tire barriers in the chicane. Oh, it was grass.
Mm.
Yeah, grass.
Yeah, he was running down into
he
Island,
barely
wasn't he? Running down into Island, hit the grass on the right hand side, and that was it. The Audi went round. So
that's a bummer. Dang. Yeah, I really wanted to put on a good show. I had practiced a lot for this, so in hopes that I could stick it to him. But it was nice to kind of cruise on home.
Yeah, I think
it definitely looked like there was a strong battle going out between the two of you. Unfortunately, he was, out so early, but you were just cruising out there, kind of just relaxing there at the front. Didn't really have any mistakes, and were able to take advantage of everything.
Heck yeah, the track was super grippy, so it was actually a lot easier to push. But then the track started to warm up. Things got a little more slippery, added fuel on worn tires, and just take a cruise, a nice Sunday evening drive or Monday morning for you guys, and bring it on home nice and clean.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Monday morning for me is still Sunday night for Michael. So, James has just said, no, apparently Nathan hit the tyre wall and messed his steering up. First chicane, he hit the trees, apparently. And then he went off after that as well. So he got I didn't see that one, but maybe we'll stay.
I thought I saw the first one.
Yeah,
those tire barriers were killer. I actually nicked it, and when I came in for my pit, I had 30 seconds optional. So there were a couple times where I just barely kissed those things and ended up with a meatball. So we were really conscious of those all night.
Well, Nathan Heffley was conscious. He didn't have much left of his Ferrari by the time he finished, but he did bring the Ferrari home, so that's all that matters, really. But overall, a tough race. We did lose nine cars, Elliot, as the evening went on, and you didn't see any of it. So you're going to have to go back and watch it again now, because you missed all of the fun behind you while you were just cruising with 31 seconds out in front.
I always look forward to Mondays and Thursdays.
Absolutely there, buddy. Well, thank you so much for joining us in the booth. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave this evening?
Yeah, big shout out to Anthony and Joe for the league. Being able to race this on a consistent basis and have good racing, you can't find it everywhere. So to be able to do this and have fun and race with some really good guys, it's a blast. So thanks to them.
No worries, buddy. Well, thank you so much for coming to chat with us, and we look forward to having a chat maybe with you next week.
Heck yeah. Well, actually, it's American football next week, so the week after.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, wait, am I allowed to? I don't think we're allowed to say that.
Oh, it is.
The big game. The big game Sunday.
That one, yeah.
Why are we not allowed to say it?
That's copyrighted.
What? For mentioning it?
Oh, yeah.
Go Super Bowl. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. What a load of... What?
Good night, guys.
Good night, man.
Take it easy, buddy. Good. Congratulations.
But,
thanks.
Hold on. Who come up with that rule?
Lawyers and people that like to make lots of money in America.
Oh, my good blimey. Well, I'm in the UK, so, go for it.
Anyways.
Well, that's it. I'm putting my foot down, but let's bring in Jay Smart for a chat. Jay, who finished second place there behind Elliot. Good evening, Jay. How are you, buddy?
Howdy, boys. Doing well.
Yeah, all good, mate. Not bad. Second place for you. 31 seconds behind Elliot, though. He kind of had the pace on everyone this evening, didn't he?
Yeah, I think starting out, Elliot and I probably had similar pace over a lap, but I think he held it consistently. He's even
You,
managing the time in the gap. I was kind of holding steady behind him. I didn't want to put too much pressure since we're teammates, but then I caught some traffic coming into the pits. And he was
Jay,
5 seconds ahead.
Jay, you keep cutting out on us, mate. Is your mic far away or?
No. Can you hear me any better now or no?
Yeah, a little bit, mate. You just keep going in and out on us. That's all. So, you know, from your perspective, you were just cruising around, chilling in second place, really, because there wasn't much going on for you to battle behind, and there wasn't much going on for you to battle in front. It was kind of just keeping it on the track evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, until you saw my spin, I assume.
Yeah, there's a little bit of damage in the rear right end of your car. What happened there?
I don't know if I hit anything on my spin, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I was kind of driving scared the whole night. I didn't have a great feel for the car and the track.
Easy to
So
do.
I was trying to manage that. And then, yeah, I had that spin late on. I just carried a little bit too much speed through mid corner and spun it and was hoping I had enough of a gap that no one caught me. Luckily, I did. But yeah, things got a little tense there, and then I drove a little bit.
Well, I didn't see your spin, but now you mentioned it, I'm just looking at it. Going around the last corner, Jay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely the one. When you hit the wall, just for good measure, on the way on back onto the track. But
Is that what happened? Yeah.
But you carried on, mate. Overall, not bad. A second place for the evening. Before you leave the booth, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to this evening?
Yeah, Elliot helped me a lot get pace and work on the setup. I mean, on Saturday, I was in pretty rough shape on this track, so pretty happy I got somewhat up to pace. And then, like usual, league owners and admins and you guys for putting on a good broadcast. Hopefully it was a good one.
It definitely was, mate, and thank you so much for joining us. And maybe we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Hopefully.
Take care, man. All right, let's bring in the third place man, Joseph Collins, into the booth, who I've caught mid-conversation with Elliot Borg, no doubt. Good evening, Joseph. How are you, buddy?
Evening to you. I'm glad I was finally able to get through.
Yeah, not bad at all, mate. You know, welcome into the illustrious booth up here. How was your evening of racing? It looked like you and Peter Muller were having a nice little battle most of the way through the race.
We were. I think we were pretty close on pace. He maybe a little tick faster than me, but I think the Ferrari was a tick better in fuel mileage, and I had a little bit quicker of a pit stop than him. So I came out right ahead of him. I was able to hold him off. I was a little worried there for a while.
Yeah, you know, it seemed to be the Ferrari, the Lambo seemed to be stronger than the Porsches and the Mercedes this evening. Well, and obviously the Audis, both of them unfortunately didn't complete the race. But I think from a Ferrari point of view, it held the track well. It seemed to be a tidy balance you had in the car with the setup this evening.
It worked. The setup I had worked pretty well. It was consistent, and that's really what I kind of go for. I'm not as fast as the Jays or the Elliots. I just try to have a nice pace and be consistent and limit mistakes. Seems to work.
Well, limiting mistakes gets you to finish the race, and then you got to score points. You've got to finish the race, and
that is true.
Yeah, we had 9 people who didn't finish the race this evening on what seemed to be a track that we thought everybody would be able to race round quite happily, but it seems Oulton Park has bit a few people this evening, and unfortunately a few of them ended up in the pits.
There's a few corners that'll get you loose in the rear end for sure if you're not careful.
Yeah, and we've had James Rep in chat as well. He's gone round Island Bend and hit a bump and put him into the barrier as well. So unfortunately for James, he was out as well. But for you, a fairly comfortable night.
Bummer.
Yeah, another good points haul for your championship run.
It helps for sure.
Well, of course.
Got some better tracks for me coming up, so I look forward to those.
Which track are you looking forward to the most?
Daytona, Sebring, Road Atlanta.
Yeah, I do love Road Atlanta. That track just, I don't know. is kind of a track that I enjoy. But we have got Daytona and Okayama as well. So Okayama, everybody loves and knows, don't they? Really?
Yeah.
You don't love that
One
track?
of those tracks. That's going to be all. I know the track. It's going to be all about qualifying there, pretty much.
Yeah, I think so as well, buddy. But thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on your third place. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
Well, first off, thank you very much. And hey, I want to give a shout out to you guys in the booth. You guys do a phenomenal job. It's my first year with light racing. And also, give a shout out to Ryan and Joseph, who got me into the league. They do a great job with the league, and to my teammates, which I don't think made it tonight, but we'll drive on for next week.
Yeah, no, you didn't have your teammate here, but Joseph, thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to maybe having a chat with you next week after Daytona.
Most definitely.
Take care, buddy.
Take it easy. Bye.
Bye. Well, there you go. Everybody seems to be in good spirits, Michael, overall. You know, at the end of the day, they all seemed happy with where they finished and stuff like that. So that's always a plus coming out of what seemed to be a tough race for people.
I think that's how everybody that finished really feels tonight. It's really was a race of attrition. Really did, go the wrong way, go upside down quickly for quite a few drivers. But, as we saw, Elliot Borg with that huge gap out front. Jay Smart also with a decent gap back to Joseph Carnes. Carnes and Moeller were battling it out there for a little while, but, the race really settled down. It was just who's going to be able to keep it on the track. So I thought it was some great racing. Would have liked to see a few more cars finish, but obviously, that's just how the racing goes, man. This is a tough track. These are tough cars to drive. These are great drivers, and we will see plenty more of them after the big game.
The big game.
All right, so are you familiar with the Super Bowl?
I am familiar with the Super Bowl. What is the rule? Why can we not call it Super Bowl Sunday next week? What's the situation with it?
I'm pretty sure it's a copyright that they just own, like Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure Super Bowl is like copyrighted.
Okay, so if I sit back and go, I have a Super Bowl that I eat my cereal out of that takes place next Sunday.
I'm pretty sure something along. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm not a lawyer. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. I know on certain, growing up in certain radio broadcasts or certain TV channels, if they didn't whoever, say Fox had the Super Bowl this year, then certain NBC wouldn't be able to technically say Super Bowl all year long until the next year when they had the Super Bowl rights, and Fox would it's I don't know. It's all about money. It's the NFL in America. What do you want from me? It's going to be a big old party. It's going to be fun. But to
be honest,
yeah, I'm gonna miss the racing next week.
Yeah, I don't know what I want from you. To be honest, yeah, I'm not even sure. I don't even know. I don't know if anybody really planned for it. I don't know if Brian's realised that's taken place on the same time. I know there was a delay for Daytona 24 hour. Maybe. Was
it Elliot or Jay? It's one of those two said something about it.
Elliot's going to miss it as well because obviously I think he's on, but I'm not too sure if they're going to take that or move. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a chat with Ryan. So
I thought okay. I thought that's what he was saying was there wasn't a race next week. So
no,
I've got
it.
We'll have to figure that one out.
Yeah, the only off weekend after was the Easter one. I've still got it on the 12th, so maybe we'll see what happens. But I think, Michael, that will sum up our evening of racing nicely there as well. So thank you so much to everybody that's joined us in chat as well. Hash Brown, much love. Daniel Pereira, that was a great race. Congrats, Elliot, Jay, and Joseph. So thank you very much for that. Grambo as well. And poor old James Rep, who joined the world of the barriers at the Island Bend. But, guys, I've been James Parfitt. Michael David's been in the booth with me as well. And as always, take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.